if you wanted to be your own trainer and somebody said, Dominic, teach me exactly how to be my own personal trainer, what would you teach me? There would be a lot of things I would want to teach, but the number one principle is pretty simple. It's so simple, in fact, that sometimes it's so easy to look past, and that's a problem when it's so simple, because sometimes it just doesn't register because it's not a problem. But here it is. When I work with somebody, if you've ever worked with me, you would know this. When we do an exercise, and then after we do the exercise, I always ask what's similar and what's different in your body after than from before. Now, there are some people that think I'm just wasting their time. Why are you asking me this? It just feels the same. All right, well, it all feels the same. Is there anything that feels different? Well, I can feel my big toe. That's good. Does it feel good to feel your big toe? Does it feel worse? It feels a little better. Okay, that's great. So here's the main message between the similarities and differences about how you felt before and how you feel after an exercise. That if you want to create consistent change, if you want to continue to experience a better body, you need to know how to experience change. And you need to know that change is something different than you have now, and you need to be able to verbalize it. So if after a bench press your chest feels tighter, and you talk about how your chest feels tighter, the chances are, by you saying it, by you narrating that experience, you make feeling your chest easier to feel now and in the future. So if your goal is to firm up your body in an area, and you start to feel that firmness, and you say, oh, I feel those muscles more in my abs. What does it feel like? Well, it feels like they're kind of going down and bottom up and just feels tighter. What did it feel like before? Well, tighter. It just felt like it was hanging over my stomach or over my belt line. So, okay, now, so it feels like it's like inside the belt line. It feels like it's inside the belt line. That's great. So that's different. What I'm going to ask you is to pick up every experience where you feel your stomach inside your belt line all day long. Well, what are you doing? But you're creating a reference point. And you're saying the stomach inside the belt line is the new reference for your day-to-day living. Okay. And then by narrating that and finding that in your experience throughout your day, well, what does that mean? That means comparatively, compared to a week previous, you're experiencing your body differently. And if you want a different body, if you want it to be tighter and toner and firmer and to generally feel better, you need to know how to describe it, you need to know how to find it, you need to know how to feel a reference if you want to make change your friend, right? I know that sounds cliche, but it's absolutely true. If you want to change, you got to learn to change what you're describing in your body. If you want your ankles and your feet to feel better, if you feel your feet flatter, you need to know how to say, I feel my feet flatter. Good. Walk around, tell me when you don't feel your feet flat, or when you feel like your foot feels flat and it feels good. Good. Well, it feels worse when I do this and it feels better when I do that. How could they deduce or create a distinction for what felt better and what felt worse depending on their experiences? Well, they knew how to describe it. And then from there, the reference or the standard of that feeling becomes the guide into future experiences that you want to replicate in your body. Well, every time I keep my belly or my stomach inside my belt line, my stomach looks firmer. That's great. Do that more often, all day. Whenever your stomach sticks out, tell me what you're doing. Well, my stomach sticks out when I'm watching TV, or, well, can you sit in the chair or on the couch differently so it doesn't stick out? Oh, it can. Oh, okay, let's measure your waist 6 weeks later. Oh, you lost 4 inches in your waist. Oh my goodness, how did you do that? Well, then you tell me, well, it's because I keep my stomach inside my belt line pretty much all the time. Oh, you mean that your resting tone in your abdominals works and you're not just letting your guts hang out. Yeah, fabulous. And instead of making change so difficult, you just create a role model, a reference for experiences you want to have, and you look to have those experiences more often, and it becomes your guide for what to stay away from. So similarities and differences would be the number one principle I would teach somebody if they wanted to become their own personal trainer. Because once you know how to articulate the similarity and the difference, you can use the difference as a reference, and then you just find as many matched experiences that draw that sense of experience out of your body, kinesthetically. Like firmer abs, all right, what are all the things that create firmer abs? What are all the things that don't, that do not? Stay away from those, do more of these. And generally speaking, that will be your greatest guidance to deduce a compass that pretty much always works. It pretty much never fails. Okay, it never fails to work. So the framework of comparing what's similar and what's different would be the number one thing I could teach somebody, and the thing that creates the greatest ripple for positive changes in someone's life. So if you like this, which I hope you did, I ask you to check out my YouTube. I've created a ton of really great videos that'll prompt you to be curious, to create wonder, to wonder what's possible for yourself, and to get you thinking in more than just, how do I squeeze my arm more firmly? I mean, I think that there's a lot that you can do with your body that you don't even know is an option. And if you're not on my newsletter, sign up. Go to DominicSessa.com. And we'll talk again soon.